Mary Atkins is the author of 3 books. Her first book, Finding Your Voice, 10 Steps to Successful Public Speaking. Her second, a novel titled Losing You. And her third is very interesting. It's titled A Journey of Creative Healing. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, Tania. It's lovely to be here.
So tell us, in brief, about how you got diagnosed. What were the symptoms? What was happening?
Okay, the thing is with MS, there are not kind of definite symptoms. They're episodic, so they come in little fits and starts. And so I'd had those for about 4 years before I was diagnosed. And that can be things like loss of feeling, of use in an arm or a leg. It can be muscle spasms. It can be blurred vision or slurring your words, a whole range of things, bad headaches, you know, all the rest. So I had all these, and then I was diagnosed at the age of 26 as having an aggressive form of multiple sclerosis.
So where were you at when you were diagnosed with MS?
I was just a young woman. I had 2 young children, and I had just recently been widowed, and so I had rather a lot on my plate. And this actually was the start of my journey, because when the diagnosis came, I rejected the diagnosis. I had this little voice that said, don't take any notice with the diagnosis. Now I have to tell you that I am not advocating that in any shape or form. The book is not a prescriptive or how-to. It is simply a reflection of my journey, and it was right for me at that particular time.
So what was your journey back to health?
Well, there were 6 steps along the way, and I won't kind of dwell too much on it, but basically, you know, it was about obviously sleeping, meditating, finding the silver lining, which is a practice of gratitude now, but I didn't know that back then. But all of those things done regularly, and then just as I was starting to feel a little bit more human, I got this very strong epiphany to do something creative every day. It didn't matter what, it didn't have to be big, it didn't have to be anything major, it just had to be something I'd never done every day. And the steps in that was the concept, the planning, the actual doing of it, and then a review at the end of it. And gradually I found myself just improving. But my goal was never about kind of returning to health with this last epiphany. It was about putting my focus elsewhere than all on my woes, because you can imagine it was a pretty heavy load at that stage of the game. So gradually, every day I was improving.
And so you went back to the doctors, and the doctors said?
The doctors said they could find absolutely no symptoms, even though before they had found multiple symptoms, and so therefore they declared I was in remission.
So you had no use of one arm, you were dragging one leg?
Yes, my left leg was bad, but my left arm I was completely useless. Yes, I was completely paralysed.
You slurred your voice?
I slurred, oh yes, I sounded like a drunk. Not necessarily a happy drunk, but I sounded like a drunk. And a whole load of muscle spasms, pains and aches and this, that and the other. Not nice at all, but there we are. I'm in remission, and I've been in remission for 54 years now.
That is incredible. So your book, A Journey of Creative Healing, is not just your story though, is it?
No, it's about other people's stories as well who've had major illnesses, who have returned to health. So there is, and it's a comparison of modern science, so I'm endorsing what I believe, and to my absolute delight, all of the science is now saying what I did was the right thing to do.
So there is hope for us out there that we can actually heal ourselves.
Well, I think there's always hope for everybody to find their own journey back to health. Just because creativity was mine, it doesn't necessarily mean it's yours.
So Mary's book's available on Amazon. You can also go into your local bookstore and ask for them to order it in. They can order it in for you. And definitely keep your eye out for more books from Mary Atkins, but this one's called A Journey of Creative Healing.